Van life in Ireland is not as easy as you think.
We are Shane and Annie, and we have been travelling in our tiny home on wheels for the past 2 years, learning a thing or two about van life. So let's get on with the video.
So we've just made it to our park up here in Donegal. The weather is stunning once again. We're being so lucky, and we have been on the road for 4 weeks now, travelling the entire White Atlantic way, and we have met people from all different parts of the world, and they were a little bit frustrated about how unprepared Ireland is for van life. So in this video we are going to share things that we wish we had known before doing van life in Ireland.
So if you have done van life in Europe, you would know how easy it is to get rid of waste such as your black water or your grey water. Well, in Ireland that is not the case.
Throughout our trip I think we have found like 3 places?
3 places out of the whole entire White Atlantic way that were free that we could use, and only 2 of them were working. We found one in ¡𝗏𝗏𝗏, which was
amazing.
Perfect. I think it was like brand new. It was working fine.
So good.
The second one was in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧, where it took our money, but
we didn't get any water from it.
Didn't give us any water. It was €2 for 100 litres, and we got no litres. And the third one was down in Cork, which was working, but it's just not up to the standard that is in Europe. In Europe you find them literally everywhere, at nearly every second service petrol station.
And even towns set them up as well.
In towns set them up. In Ireland it is impossible to find anything like this, which leaves it very difficult. And another way to get rid of your waste, such as your black waste, is to book into a campsite, which in Ireland is quite expensive, and it can be up to as much as €30 for the night, which is basically a glorified field for €30, which is mental.
Plus they don't let you use the services.
No, so like
you have to stay over. So I think this is another point about van life in Ireland: campsites.
You have to stay in the campsite to use the services. Now there is some nice campsites that will allow you to pay a fee to go in and get rid of your waste, but those are few and far between, and a lot of them will not accept you and will just make you pay the full price, even if you want to just empty your toilet.
Even if you're just driving by, you just have to pay the full amount as if you were staying, which is quite annoying, especially because some campsites in Ireland are literally just a field with very little services, if any. So
that is probably the biggest struggle, because then the other hand, you have people taking their cassette and going behind a hedge and dumping out their waste. You have other people that have pipes coming out of the bottom of their van, just emptying out their grey water.
There's a massive puddle,
leaves a big puddle.
Yeah, horrible.
Ireland is just not equipped for it, and something needs to be done, because it brings in so much tourism to the country that they need to have services like this for people that are doing van life, especially along the White Atlantic way, because it is full of campervans.
It's Ireland's main attraction, and it's not prepared for vans, which is
silly.
Ironic. It's ironic. So one way to find water in Ireland is by going to piers, football fields and cemeteries. These 3 places usually have taps here and there. They are not always very visible, but it's always worth a try when you're stuck, like we were in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. That time we went and paid €2 to get water, but the machine got our money and didn't give us any water. So we were in a football field and we luckily found a tap, and we managed to get a little bit of water just to get by. So piers, football fields and cemeteries could save your life in Ireland when you need water.
So one of the first things that we wish we had known before starting van life in Ireland is just how many barriers there actually is. You don't realise it until you start having to go and look for park-ups. Then you start to realise there actually is a lot of height barriers in Ireland. Now Fergus comes in around 2.1 metres, and we have struggled so much on this trip to find park-ups, because once we get there we realise that there's a barrier, and we have seen them go as low as 1.8 or 1.9 metres, which is crazy low. No van is fitting underneath them. So this is just one thing to bear in mind when you are coming to Ireland, that a lot of park-ups do have height barriers, so it is a struggle to find those park-ups.
Another thing about van life in Ireland is that it's practically impossible to get rid of your waste. It's so hard to find bins, and then when you do find them, they have the tiniest opening and you can't even fit your bag. So it's so hard to get rid of your waste. What we end up doing is going to Lidl's, Aldi, Super Value, because they have bigger bins. So it's a little hack for you. What we do is we have this bin that takes small bags which fit in the tiny openings that all bins in Ireland have. So you just have to use small bags and get rid of your waste frequently, because if you build waste up, you're lost because it's so hard to get rid of it, and you'd be a while trying to fit everything through the wee opening.
So during our 4-week trip around the Wild Atlantic Way, we wild camped every single night. We never stayed in one campsite. There is no need to. They are expensive, and there are hundreds of free wild camping sites all over Ireland that you can stay at completely free, out in the wild. But there is one problem about wild camping in Ireland, and that is that there is a lot of signs starting to appear for no overnight camping, no parking overnight, no camper vans. That is becoming a big issue all along the Wild Atlantic Way.
Ireland has actually like the nicest wild camping spots that we've ever stayed in, nicer than Spain, Portugal, France, anywhere. Like Ireland is just full of beautiful spots just in the middle of nature that you have to yourself. We just need to preserve them, because as Shane's saying, like there's so many signs going up, and that's because people are dumping their rubbish, emptying toilets, emptying grey water, and yeah, it's just a pity because Ireland is van life heaven in that sense. Speaking of amazing park-ups in Ireland, this is one of those park-ups which is completely free, and it's amazing. It's just, there's so many of these park-ups here in the middle of nature that are completely free, so quiet. This is our favourite thing about van life in Ireland, and this is what makes it worth it. We love van life in Ireland. It's a bit harder than in other countries, but we think it's totally worth it because the landscapes and the nature in Ireland is just, you can't beat it. We have made it to 𝗙𝗪𝗣𝗣𝗢𝗥𝗧 Beach, and we would only love to get in, well, only if it was a bit warmer as well, but there's no showers and there's no way to get rid of the salt when you come out of the water. So that's one thing about van life in Ireland. So hard to get into the sea. There's very few showers. I think we found 2 in our trip. So yeah, it's a big thing. But also, we don't want to put anybody off from doing van life in Ireland because there's so many good things. Like for example, for me, even though it sounds silly, I love that there's no mosquitoes and you can sleep at night, and you know, it doesn't wake you up in the middle of the night and then you're all itchy.
I remember those videos from Portugal with 20 mosquitoes in the van. That doesn't happen here.
No, it gets a little bit chilly at night, which is so nice because then you can wrap up and sleep nice and tight. But sometimes in Portugal, Spain, France, it's so warm at night as well that it's just so hard to sleep. So you have mosquitoes and it's very warm, and in Ireland you don't have that. So that's a point for Ireland, 2 points actually.
So even with all the negative points of doing van life in Ireland, like the waste, the height barriers, all that sort of stuff, still Ireland is my favourite place to do van life.
Yeah.
It just does not get better, and when you get the nice weather, there's no place like it on earth. So definitely don't be put off by doing van life in Ireland. Make sure you do it, but just take into consideration that there is going to be height barriers. It is hard to get rid of waste, and there's a few other little difficulties.
I also have to say that about Ireland, I love that people are like extra friendly. They'll talk to you. You talk to locals and they tell you stuff about the place that you're visiting that you wouldn't have known otherwise. And for some reason, I think I also feel a lot safer because in Europe we've seen like vans that have got broken into and you see their windows all like taped up, and in Ireland we've gone to a beach with like the van literally like unlocked, and sometimes I think we've slept a couple of nights with the van not locked. Where in Europe I make sure to chain all the doors, and I'm a security freak in Europe. No, in Ireland I feel a lot safer. So we just wanted to make a little video about van life in Ireland because we feel it's a lot different to van life in Europe. So we don't want to put anybody off. There's beautiful things about van life in Ireland that we love. We actually like it better than in Europe. So we hope this is helpful, and if you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments. And also, if you have any other tips that we have forgotten to mention, please drop them down as well so we can all share and make van life in Ireland a little bit easier. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye!